Okay, hello everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good day, whatever time of the day that you're tuning in. Welcome to today's live Q&A session with Aquarisi Okushola. I hope I pronounced the name correctly, but we'll
Basically,
be passing the baton to her shortly so that she can introduce herself properly. So, welcome to today's live session. If you are joining from whatever platform, so we are live on both Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're joining from, please just drop a comment so that we know you're here. We have been announcing this Q&A session for a couple of days now. So I'm sure you have your questions ready. And if you want to ask them anonymously, a link was publicized. The link is in our bio. If you are just hearing that for the first time, the link is in our bio. So we are going to be taking some of the questions that have come up before now. And also, if you are just joining in, if you're just hearing about it, just go to the link in our bio and click on where you see anonymous questions. Whatever questions you want to ask, feel free to ask. Nobody will know it's you asking. So, anything and everything about family dysfunction, um, through the grace of God upon her life, she would be answering those questions. So I'm just going to allow our coach introduce herself shortly, and then we would talk about why we are here and the foundation of what wholesome family solution is about for just a few minutes, and then we'll go ahead to take questions from the audience, questions that have come in. And if you're just joining in, you can either, if you're confident enough to drop your questions in the comments, please go ahead and drop a comment. Any question around family dysfunction or anything you would want to ask Coach Siri tonight. So the next voice you would be hearing would be Coach Siri. Please put a round of applause emoji if you are watching from any platform, and let's welcome her on board. You're welcome. Over to you. Please introduce yourself and then
yeah.
tell us why we are here.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much, please. My name is Akwesiri Kolosha. I am your awesome family solution provider. So the vision of awesome family solution is better from a place of compassion. Yes. So at a time, I had compassion for different categories of persons in the family structure, ranging from that child who was giving birth to who did not know anything, like an innocent child. Possibly, let me give an instance, an innocent child who was given birth to by a teenager who had teenage pregnancy, who has little or no knowledge about parenting. What happens to that child? Or is it that child that was rejected, the child that was rejected, possibly that is not this particular sex you're looking for, and you rejected that child? What happens to the child? That kind of a child not yet born into this world, but has experienced rejection already. So for me, that's meant a lot. And for the teenagers, of course, who are struggling, trying to find their identity, trying to understand who they are, coupled with hormonal issues. They are trying to understand themselves, trying to know their personality and all that.
Mm,
So from every aspect. So and I've seen how singles are even struggling. Some of them are even they've crossed age 30, 35, still finding it difficult to trust someone. Why? Because of what the trauma that their family background has taught them. So
put
it's
them
this
through.
yeah, so
Mm,
it kind of make me, that compassion came and said, who will teach these ones? And I've seen couples who are also
mm.
struggling. Yes, in terms of you're married to this person, is from a dysfunctional home. How do you handle this person? We can't say the dysfunctional people should go and marry dysfunctional people. That means that's double chaos. So how do we
Yeah.
handle this? So that's just where, and of course, parenting. people are struggling. You don't want to raise your children the way you were raised. So that's
Yeah.
it. It is that kind of total package that bettered the whole some family solution. So I'm really passionate about this, and I thank God for what He's doing. I thank God people are catching the vision already.
Hmm.
It's a global vision, and I really bless God for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. So, please, you've heard from quote and unquote, the way they say, the horse's mouth, the visionaire behind wholesome family solutions. So, please feel free, come with any questions you have. Share this live, share it with your friends. Tell them, anybody that you see that is probably having any form of dysfunction, please feel free to share with them so that they can join in and we can um, we can get answers. Yes, so we're just going to delve into the questions already. So if you're watching from Facebook, from YouTube, please just drop a comment. I'm waiting to see comments. Hey, we are here, we are watching, we are live. So please publicize this. Let me just give us a minute. Publicize this as much as possible to everybody that you know needs this. Okay, so that nobody would miss out of today's live session. So over the couple of days when we were announcing this, some questions came in. So I'll just be asking those questions to Coach Siri tonight, and then she'll be answering them one after the other. So I think I'm just going to start with the first one. Let me put that one up on the screen so we can see. So remember, we shared a link for people to ask their questions anonymously. Yes, to ask their questions anonymously. So the first question that came in, I'm just going to put it up on the screen and allow Coach Siri to go ahead to answer. Right. So, Coach Siri, this person says, I need help in communicating with my kids. I'm training them the way I was brought up, and it's draining me. So maybe the person was brought up in a particular way that um, anyway, let's just go ahead with the question. So I want to do better for myself and for my kids. I'm an introvert. Coach Siri, what do you have to say to this person? Let me take the question again. The person says, okay, great. Somebody says we are here. Good evening, Coach Siri. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for joining in. Please publicize, spread the word so that people know that this is going on. Great. So again, the question says, I need help in communicating with my kids. I'm training them the way I was brought up, and it's draining me. I want to do better for myself and for my kids. And she's an introvert. Over to you, Coach Siri. Let's hear the answers that you'd have to help. The person says she needs help. So over to you.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the sincerity and the vulnerability of these parents.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
acknowledge the fact that she understood that yes, I'm not doing it, I'm not parenting the right way. It's for
Yeah.
me it's an advantage already. She's in a good state of mind to know that yes, I don't think this is the right way. I don't think I'm parenting the right way. So in terms of awareness, yes. So because when we talk about correcting dysfunction, it begins with awareness. I've come to realize that most people deny their background, where they are coming from. They are quick to say, no, I'm not from a dysfunctional family, God forbid. You are denying it, but the effect and the impact on you
It's
yourself,
obvious.
children, your
Mm.
spouse, your work relationship, it's obvious that something is wrong somewhere. Like I said, you can be 20 years and you are still 2 years in your mindset. You were stuck in your childhood. So it's not about denying what has happened to you. You should be able to sit back and say something is not right. And so I really appreciate this parent who is a, who she was able to sit down and say, yes, I don't think I'm doing it the right way. I need help.
Mm.
So I also want her to understand that yes, the fact that you know that you are an introvert, that in itself it's a personality issue to be dealt with. So beyond your
Okay.
child, you have to work on yourself. A popular saying goes that parenting begins with you. Parenting begins with you
Mm-hmm.
first. You are the one that needs to become first before the child will become whoever you want that child to be. So that part of being an introvert, it needs to be there needs to be a balance with that kind of personality first. Then begin to work on yourself. You can take a pause, relax, and don't try to do it all at once. And another thing I want to say for
Mm.
such a parent is fear, because I found out that most persons are parenting from the place of fear. Even before they got married,
Mm.
they're already afraid. They say, I don't think I can. Why do you think people don't want to get married? Why do you think people just prefer marrying the same sex? They are afraid of children.
Mm.
They just feel I'm not in for all these things. I just want somebody as a companion. I'm not in for all these children things. Even before they
Mm.
started, they feel they've already failed. So you must not parent from the
Yeah.
place of fear. Job said, the things that I feared, they have come upon me. So if you are parenting from the
Yeah.
place of something keep telling you that you're not going to do it well, you will make the same mistake your parents made, this your child is not going to be useful. As you begin to ponder on that, it will become your reality. So when that thought comes, you need to nullify that thought. That's where the renewing of the mind, the transform mind comes to play. So if you're able to transform your mindset that yes, I can parent from a place of rest, I can parent and not understand that there was a write-up I did on co-parenting. God is the one co-parenting with you. He said your children will be taught of the Lord and great shall be their peace. So what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say,
Peace. True.
I'm not yeah, so I'm not trying to excuse whatever deficiencies that you have. That is where the place of mentoring, being in a support group that gives you tips and ideas on how to parent comes to play. So,
Mm.
so that's that. Yeah. So it's really about communication. And if you notice that you have anger issue, like I said, you just have to deal with yourself first before
Mm.
that child. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Thank you
Thank you very
so much. Thank you so much for those answers. I think I'm hoping if you're the one that asked this question, I'm hoping that you have gotten answers. If you're not satisfied with your answers, please go back to Kobo and still drop if you have follow-up questions, drop your follow-up questions there. Or if you want to type in the comments, please go ahead to do so. And if you have further questions, so on behalf of this parent, I don't know who the person is, but I just want to ask a question following this. The person says the last line says that I'm an introvert, right? So is there a different parenting style per se for introverts in line with her background, what she was used to? So I'm assuming that perhaps some people are introverted by nature, some people are introverted by circumstances. So maybe in this person's case, the person's circumstance of how they were brought up, probably maybe maltreated, or maybe had one issue or the other, is what made them withdrawn or made them to be introverts, right? So how can they get out of their shell when it comes to them and their children? Or is there a particular parenting style that is suited for introverts in this case? I'm just thinking, I'm trying to understand how that context of being an introvert comes to play when it comes to how she was raised.
Okay, so the fact that she is an introvert puts her in a
Mm.
state of feeling easily exhausted.
Okay, okay.
So she kind of, parenting itself is work. So how much more
Yeah.
you don't even want stress, you just want to be on your own. You don't want, so any little thing she feels stressed, she feel I'm tired, like just leave me alone. And children,
Mm.
they need attention. They are craving for your attention. They just want to be around you.
Mm-hmm.
They want, so that's why I say it has to deal with her dealing with her personality first, giving herself a suitable balance in her personality of being an introvert. And
Mm-hmm.
possibly that came up because our emotions were being suppressed. Where we tend to suppress our children's emotion, where they cry, you not tag them, you say they cry too much, they talk too
Mm,
much, they do this too much. And by the time you keep doing that to the child just feel, okay, let me not say anything again, let me just be on my own. So if she is not
mm,
careful, that is where the pattern, repeating the pattern now comes, because you also want to now shut your children down, or you easily get
yes.
angry with them. So we don't want that pattern. So you need to be a bit more engaging. That is where this kind of community support group comes to play. Then talk it out, talk to someone, you know, mentorship and all that. So you just need that support, something to bring you out of that shell, to engage you. And of
Mm,
course, if I get to talk with this person on a one-on-one level, you see that there are other circumstances. The spouse, what type of spouse?
that
So
are involved, yes.
if I'm an introvert, what about my spouse? Who is he? So imagine an introvert getting married to an introvert. You know what it
And
means. So,
yes, yes.
so I think the spouse also
Okay.
has a role
So
to.
has a role to play. Great. So let's move on to other questions. So, but if you are here and you're the one that asked this question, so the way Coach Siri has said, there could be other things that would need to be digged into or dug into, rather. So please feel free to check the link in the bio, and there will be a consultation link there. You can book a consultation so that you can talk to Coach Siri one on one. There may be other underlying factors that have not been considered. By the time we begin to dig deep, there are some that you probably haven't even thought about yet. Okay, so we're just going to move to the next questions. Maybe to save up on time, I'll just go ahead to just read out the questions, and then we'll touch on the answers, and then we are okay. So the next question says, "How do I forgive my parents for hurting me so deeply?" Hmm. So this person probably has been hurt. The person did not say the kind of hurt that, so we don't know the nature of the hurt or the extent of the hurt. But the person just says, "How can I forgive my parents for hurting me so deeply?" So in this case, what would be your advice to this person?
Yeah. So there's something called the father's wound. Yeah, the father's wound, and even the mothers, they also have their own expression too of causing pain to their children. For me, I will summarize this person's problem as a childhood pain. Your
Mm,
so in fact, it can be so deep. We find, okay, for somebody like Joyce Mayer now, who said her own father raped her. So how deep can that be? How deep can it be? So there
mm,
are deep there are issues that are going on in families, but that is where we now have to be very intentional to make sure. The Bible said that when it talked about in Ephesians 6, it said, "Children, obey your parents in the law, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother." Then in verse 4, it just said, "Do not make sure that you don't frustrate your children." So it's
mm.
a lesson for every one of us in the process of parenting your child, in the process of you demanding honor and obedience for your child from your child. Make sure that you are not giving them that, because the clause there is in the Lord. In the Lord, make sure you are not pushing
Yeah.
them beyond their capacity. So that is where connecting with them comes to play. So for this person, the only prescription I will give to you is forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness is still the only way to be free from hurt, because all forgiveness is as if you put someone in the prison, you lock someone in the prison, but only to realize that you were the one that was in the prison. That's what it does to you. Or I want to take,
Mm.
it's as if I'm taking poison for somebody to get to die. So that kind of scenario, you are the one taking the poison, but you expect the other person to die. the damage that unforgiveness does to you is it's more. So the only solution is you have to release forgiveness, because it is from the place of forgiveness that you can actually heal. And if you don't heal, you will end up bleeding on, even on the people that did not hurt you. So you have to forgive
Okay,
your
true.
parents, whatever. So this issue of forgiveness, so this issue is another thing that actually bettered this vision for me. I've seen in real life experiences where children tend to dishonor their parents, and because why? Because the parents also are not meeting up with their own responsibility due to dysfunction or due to their
Mm,
level of understanding. And children are capitalizing on it to dishonor their parents. It's just like let me liken it to the way the church is now. People are talking evil of the church. Why? Because some pastors they've abused the system. So the same thing, your parents are acting based on their level of knowledge, and you want to now
mm,
capitalize on it. Say, okay, let me now use it to dishonor them. Where were they when life was like this? Why didn't they go to school in their own time? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they provide for me? You now want to dishonor them. And this has
mm,
caused a lot of issue, in the sense that it has robbed a whole generation of their blessings. So if you don't forgive, you cannot honor somebody that it takes honor is a gradual process. You have value for the person for you to be able to honor the person. So forgiveness, we create that value that, okay, I know this and this is what has happened to you, I forgive you. But that does not mean the place of boundaries will not be established. Yes, there's also the place of boundaries. You need to set boundaries. You need to set boundaries here to make sure that, yes, that particular thing will not repeat itself again. So that's it with unforgiveness. So please, the only solution, whatever I will prescribe for you now, is forgiveness. You are not trying to deny the pain. You are not trying to say, oh, this did not happen to me. Yes, it happened to you, but it's a way of setting yourself free. It's a way of setting yourself free. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, you're
okay.
back.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? It seems
You're very well.
there
Very
was a
well.
bit of a disconnection, but hopefully you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. I think you've done justice to that question. So we'll just move to the next question so that we are still within our time frame, right? So forgiveness, whoever asked that question, the key is forgiveness. But then again, I don't know, maybe I missed when you answered. So the person, that question is a bit tricky. The person said, how can I?
I think she's having some network glitch. Okay, let's just hold on. She'll be back in a moment.
Okay, great. I think I'm back now.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
So I was saying
Yeah.
the person is can you hear me now?
Very well.
Yes. So the person actually asked, how can I forgive a parent? So it's like the person knows the key is forgiveness. But the person's asking for the how. How can they forgive? So, and there's that thin line. Some people say, oh, forgiveness is not forgetting. I've forgiven, but I've not forgotten. So, how does the person know when they have forgiven? So, I don't know. I think, but you're the expert here, but I would think that I know personally how I know that I have forgiven something, whatever it is in this case, it's when I can remember that thing without having a sense of hurt, right? So I was just thinking about the question that the person asked. The person said, "How can I forgive?" So the person knows that the answer is forgiveness, right? But they are asking how to go about the forgiveness. But maybe just quickly for a few seconds, share your thoughts on that before we move to the next question.
Okay, so the issue with forgiveness is you So forgive the process of forgiveness, first of all, is telling it to God. That's the place of prayer. Lord, this is how I feel. This person has hurt me. And it hurts so deeply. God, this is how I feel. Take away the pain. It's actually God that can actually take away that pain. And you need to come, like you said, you need to get to that point where you can say it. Okay, for instance, when I share my story, when I talk about my parents, I talk about this, talk about that. I've forgiven myself, I've forgiven my parents. So it's easier for me to say it, no hurt, nothing. So it is when you come to that
Mm.
point where you know that no, I understand this and this is the reason why you did this. So I forgive you. So you have to release that hurt to God. You have to say, God, please take away this pain. And of course, I trust God. God will heal your heart. So it begins with the healing of your own heart. And you also have to be intentional. You also have to be intentional. Then another thing is anything that exposes you to that same kind of setting that will trigger that
Avoid it.
memory, you need to avoid it. That, oh, I've forgiven this
Yeah.
person. I don't want anything that will take me back to memory lane again or bring that hurt, especially when you know you are still on the healing process, the healing journey. So
Mm.
just yeah, so that's the bit.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Coach Siri. So the next question I'm seeing here, I think you've already sort of answered it in the first question. The person says, "How do I avoid repeating my parents' mistake with my kids?" Do you want
Yeah.
to touch on that? But I feel like you've sort of answered it in the previous
Yes,
question. But
yes.
do you want to
There's
just touch on it?
no. It's same question. It's same answer I give to it. Just
Okay.
don't parent from a place of fear. Don't let the devil sow his
Yeah.
seed to you that your children will end up like you know, or you will end up, that. Just keep being on the positive side of life. Yes, so view things from positive. Then work on any area of weaknesses that you have
That you may
over
have.
the
Hmm.
years. Yeah, so work on yourself first, then before the child. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, great. So I think that answers that question. So the next question, this person says, my spouse came from a dysfunctional home and it's affecting us. So I think the person means it's affecting their marriage. So the person is asking, what can I do? But I don't know, there may be more details to this question. We don't know the level of or the state of the dysfunction that the spouse came from, and the person didn't say how it's affecting us, like it's affecting their marriage. But if you were to give a general answer to that question, what would it be? So the person says, my spouse came from a dysfunctional home and it's affecting us. What can I do? Over to you, Kosiri.
Okay, so from all these questions, one thing I appreciate is I can see awareness. I can see awareness. The
Yes.
fact that you know that your spouse is from a dysfunctional home, it is a very good position to be. Okay, now that you know, you will now be more patient to walk this journey with the person. So it's all about teamwork here. So you're
Mm,
trying to build a team to
mm,
say, okay, my dear, I know this is where you're coming from, and this is how it has impacted you. I want to walk this journey with you, but you need to cooperate with me. So there's a kind of acceptance the person feel when he knows that yes, even though you know my weakness, and in fact that's in our relationship with God. That's how that's why we even love God. That God understood every of our weaknesses. Yes, he's still coming back to you. He's still
mhm,
coming to you and say, come, let's reason together. Come, he's still telling you you are my beloved. You are special. So the fact that so that is another aspect where people miss it, couples miss it is they end up tongue lashing the spouse from the dysfunctional home.
yes.
Words that we further increase the triggers. So where that person now feels, so I am now married to my father that I was running from, that kind of setting. So you feel, no, I don't want to. These are the words I've heard over the years that I don't want to hear. So, and if that person is in that state where he feels you are telling me the same thing that they've told me right from when I was a child, why are you still telling me this same thing? You've already caused a blockade in the person's heart. The person cannot absorb any correction, even if, so it has to come from the place of love and compassion, that, oh, I feel for you. And you have to be empathic enough to say, okay, I understand that, yes, it's not your fault. It is what your background has presented to you, but can we do this together? So the kind of words you will use, you have to be very tactical in giving us your words in terms of,
Yes.
so we, you have to say the
So it's
we.
not, it doesn't become a trigger.
Yes, it does. You don't, because they can easily be triggered. They don't want to. In fact, some of them were even
Yeah.
afraid of marriage before they got married. So now they are married. They don't want to see or to hear those same words that they've already been hearing before now. So it's just loads of patience, love, forgiveness, teamwork, and prayer. Yeah. So invite God into the situation. There's nothing God cannot do. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for doing justice to that question. So the next question here is just a one-liner, which maybe you would understand better. The person just says, "Why did God allow me to be born into such a family?" So this person is asking God questions. So maybe we can look at the depth behind the kind of what the person's thought process was while asking the question. So perhaps the person is coming from or is currently going through a dysfunction. We don't know. So the question is, why did God allow me come? Let me read that again. Why did God allow me to be born into such a family? Okay. So is it a mistake that God made? That's what the person is asking. The person is asking God question. So please represent God and give this person an answer. Why did God allow the person to be born into such a family?
Okay. So God does not waste any pain, or whatever you think you're feeling now is not a waste. And this person's
Mm,
question is the heart cry of many persons. And like I said, most time we try to deny that. No, we're not from dysfunctional home, but check your heart. Are you really happy with the way
mm-hmm,
things are with your family? So if this person is saying, why did I come from this family? It shows that there's chaos. The person is not happy. There is possibly rivalry
mm.
everywhere. And this is
The
what has,
dissatisfaction.
yeah, so where this has led to people having disconnection with their relationship with God, in the sense that, if my parents, I've seen cases where children will ask their parents, are you sure you are the one that gave birth to me? Yes. So are you sure you gave birth to me? Because they can't comprehend. And where they not take the God out of it, where they are not angry with God is, if an earthly man that I see is dealing with me like this, is it this God that I can't even see? What is all this? So that anger comes to play. So don't be angry. God does not make
Mm,
mistakes. That's one thing I would say. You are there for a reason. And that is one of the vision of Awesome Family Solution, is to let you know that, yes, that God saw everything. Just like saying, why did God create the if God knows that Adam and Eve will eat the forbidden fruit, why did he put it there? It is for a reason. So God did not put you there to God did not put you there to punish you. He's preparing you for a great work. He knows that, yes, you are the one that God has sent to become a savior to your family, to become the one that will become the healthy branch of your family tree. Let it be that, from this family nothing good comes out. That should be a challenge to you, to say, from all this problem, I'm going to become this person. So that should stir up something in
mm,
you. So if you know you don't like what you're saying, be motivated to create the right template. and say, okay, I've seen that there's so much trouble in this family, so much chaos and disorderliness everywhere. I'm going to create a standard, I'm going to create an order that other persons will model. So instead of mourning your situation, instead of throwing pity party, why not convert that pain into purpose and say, yes, this is what I'm going to do in my life. So God is not, God did not intend to punish you. He wants you to rise and become the savior of your family. So take advantage of it and maximize it, and don't allow that situation to weigh you down. There are many instances in the Bible where people ask that question. Even Gideon asked. Gideon say, why is all this? Look at, we are the least in our clan. We are so poor. We are so this. And yet God is telling Gideon, you are a mighty man of valor. You are a mighty man of valor. So you must see yourself through the lens of God's eyes. You must see yourself how God, through the way God sees you. Like, no, I may be from this kind of setting, but I know who God says I am. So that mentality will keep you at a good place. So God is not punishing you. He loves you, but he's sending you on an assignment. It's just like saying Jesus came to this world, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lord. He was being born in a manger, in a place where there are animals. So Jesus could have asked, why now? Me? You know, that kind of question. Me? Is this so? You could not look for the best hospital that I should be born in the best hospital. Is he a manger where there's animals? What nonsense. So no offense. Jesus knew that, yes, I'm here to create an impact. So he did not, no offense. So the same thing, it could be very, that family background can be very messy, but you are there to cause a change that others will live to follow. Yeah, so that's the way it works. So don't be angry. Don't be angry with God. Don't lose your relationship with God. Don't say God hates me. God does not love me. So be careful so you don't, because by the time you lose your relationship with God, you have given the devil an advantage. And I can promise you that pattern will just keep going on and on. The only person that can redirect the course of your family life is God, and you need to invite him. Don't be offended with God. Partner with God to raise a wholesome family legacy. Thank you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Chat, God does not waste our pain. Very correct. I think
Network. Yeah, so network is taking her out and in at the same time, but we'll be fine. She will be back. So I just want to encourage us, if you are in that state where you feel, God, why me? Out of everybody, why me? No, God is not punishing you. He has your best interest at heart. Yes. Can you hear me? Hello?
okay. Sorry, can you hear me? My network tripped up for a second. I was saying that somebody dropped in the chat, God does not waste our pain, and I think a that is a good take home. If
That's it.
there is nothing else from today's session. Can
That's
you hear
it.
me clearly? Please just
Very
confirm.
well. Very well. Very well. I
Okay,
can hear you.
great.
Oh my. Okay, so that's it. I hope you've been getting value for it, for the section so far. I want you to know that we are here for you. Awesome Family Solution. Keep your questions, keep asking. This is how we learn and this is how we grow. Like I said, we need a community where we can learn. Some of these things school will not teach you. Sometimes you are not privileged to have parents that will teach you these things. So you need a community and an atmosphere where you can learn these things. Thank you. Welcome back. So let's hit the questions as fast as it can be.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Okay, so we'll just take the last question because of our time. Um, so this person says, is it wrong to distance myself from a toxic parent? Hmm. Is it wrong to distance myself from a toxic parent?
Mm. So I think this is a question of, if I should sum it up, is a question of boundaries. Yes, you want to you want to know how far is too far. How far can I go? This is my parents. This person is my parents. I'm supposed to love on my parents. I'm supposed to care for them. I've seen somebody that said, my parents, my father is old. I really want to go close to help him, but I realize I can't even spend 15 minutes with him. Why? Because the words that will come out from his mouth always hurts me. He will abuse me. He will tell me I'm good for nothing. He will tell me that he will compare me with my other siblings. He will, and this child feels this is not a child, that is an adult. He feels I'm supposed to take care of my parents. I'm supposed to honor them. But anytime I go, I don't like what I hear. I don't like the way I feel when I leave his presence. So it's for me, this is one thing we should ask ourselves as parents, because as we're advising people, we should also be checking ourselves out that if my child comes to me, how would the child feel leaving me? So it's something that we need to be very intentional. So this question is a question of boundaries. Like I said, you want to know how far is too far. How far can I uh, how far can I go taking care of my parents, honoring my parents, yet creating a healthy boundary? So boundaries is very, very important. Boundary is a way of protecting your peace. Yes, boundary is biblical. There's nothing wrong with creating boundaries. So, but the thing is, you need to love on them. You still need to tell them. so this, so there is no amount of dysfunction that will make you dishonor your parents. There is no
Hmm.
amount. That's one thing I want us to know. That the fact that they brought you into this kind of background, they could not even model any of these virtues to you. They just left you to yourself. You sorted life out by yourself. It is not enough criteria for you to honor your parents. So we must come to that level to know that honoring our parents, but in the process of honoring them, that does not mean you keep tolerating abuse. Why? Because there's something the abuse does to your mind. The way you feel anytime you leave matters a lot. And boundary is a way, it's not a wall, it's not a fence. It's just a way to say this is where it ends. This is the level it can be, so that I can have my peace. So you can love on them. If you know, oh, the that comes at any time I go, sometimes you may try to reduce the number of times you visit them. Just try and see how you can then, of course, with patience, keep loving on them, keep encouraging them. And of course, the place of prayer, anybody you can pray for, you can actually it is from the place of prayer that you can. Is a prayer is a way of loving on the person, to say, I present your matter to God. I know I can't. I know I love you. I know I know I want the best for you, but Lord, please help us touch this person's heart. So it's a way of you telling God, God, I can you help me work on this person, so that relationship can be sweet for us. So the place of prayer should not be neglected. Pray, talk to God about your parents, but you must also look for a way to protect your mind. Yes. So that's it. So for instance, you have parents who anytime you don't give them money, they just say things, they talk to you, and send them the money and have your peace. Just look for it. But don't don't be manipulated. So one thing I don't want is manipulation, because manipulation is uh, another features of dysfunction. You find out that most parents are manipulating their children, even in marriage. So it's something you should look at. So healthy boundary. That's the subscription to this. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, great. We are out of time. We are way out of time. But just one last question and then we'll wrap up. Let's just give room for one last question. This person says, I'm trying to heal, but I feel numb. I feel emotionally numb. How do I start healing? I feel emotionally numb. How do I start healing? So if you can just use that as a closing question and just wrap up. Because so many people may be going through this same, they want to heal, but they don't know how. And they just feel numb in the sense that some people have probably not even grieved what made them hurt or whatever. So how does somebody handle a case where they feel emotionally numb, but they actually do want to heal. They want to snap out of whatever it is. So maybe just that answer that and closing remarks even as we wrap up because we are way past our time.
Okay, so what I would say to that is being emotionally numb. This affects the singles more because I've seen someone that say, "Ah,
Mm,
my parents' background and what I saw that my father did to my mother. Oh no, no, I don't want to think about marriage. Oh, no, I just want to be by myself. I just want to be to myself. I don't want this thing
mm,
called marriage, because I saw the way. No, 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 no. Just leave me here. You are numbing your emotions. You don't want to respond. A guy is coming to
mm,
you, like the guy, but you just feel, I beg, that's how they will come. So you just feel, let me not go close, so that I will not get this, I will not be disappointed. So don't numb your emotions. One thing you have to do is, if you cannot name it, you can. So you should be able to name your emotions. How are you feeling? How does it make you feel? So ability to start naming your emotions and your feelings, calling it what it is. Sometimes you need to talk about it, you need to write about it, you need to seek a mentor, seek counseling. You know, Healing begins when you are able to talk. You talk. You say, this is what is happening to me. So I like the fact that yes, you are coming up with this question. How do I start healing? Yes. So now you've been able to talk about it. It shows that yes, you are aware that the way I feel is not normal. I think something has to be done. I don't think so. Even the case of this single I'm talking of now, you can even get married, and some people are married and they are singly married. They're just to themselves. The man wants to come to you. No, you just want to be to yourself. You just want to be in your own world, that kind of thing. So emotional numbness is not good, especially when you are in a relationship. So it's something to be worked on. Talking about it, praying about it, creating an environment and a space where you can say these are the things that takes me back to my shell, that I feel it kind of make me revert back to myself, and I just want to be to myself. So you should be able to say the things that triggers you to want to make that makes you know, but just make you feel, I just want to be to myself. I just want to be to myself. I don't want anybody. I just want to, that kind of feeling. So it's something that we need to work on. So we on this journey. We are here for you at the Awesome Family Solution. We are here for you. So, and this is where we have a community where we talk about this. People share their experiences. People tell us, oh, this is how it's been with us. This was how I experienced this challenge, and this was how I was able to overcome it. And of course, talking to someone, talking to a mentor, it's also very, very important. So I want to say thank you so much for staying true to this program. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. I really, really, truly appreciate you. And I want to say I love you. I want us uh, to join the community. If you know you've not joined in, please find time to join the community. I want to say thank you for my moderator, Mrs. Peace. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you everyone for staying through. Nice having you tonight, and enjoy the rest of your day. I want you to like, to share, and to comment. Drop your comments. It is from your comments that we will be able to know what's up and how it's been with you, where you are at the moment, and how we can support you and help you. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful and a lovely night rest from here. I love you all. Bye.